If you're an IT or security pro, managing devices, identities, and applications can feel overwhelming and risky. Trelica by 1Password helps conquer SaaS sprawl and shadow IT by discovering every app your team uses, managed or not. Their pre-built app profiles assess risk, manage access, and optimum speed. And with 1Password, you can simplify onboarding, offboarding, and compliance with a centralized system of record and reduce costs by eliminating unused licenses. Take the first step in better security for your team. Learn more at onepassword.com/special offer. That's onepassword.com/special offer, all lowercase. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 692. I am your host, Stevie V, alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm really good. How are you?
Really good, really good. Thank you so much. Of course, rounding out the equation, this podcast is Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darlings. I'm doing wonderful.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into the topic at hand. And we were just talking about how so many bottoms are actually switching over to being tops, not necessarily because they're lazy, but that was some of the reason. That was on our last episode. Remember that, Cody?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So we're going to continue the conversation because Andrew Christian, the website, before their final collection, are asking certain questions on their website. And Diego, of all people, is an Andrew Christian fan. He's going to be sorry to see them go. But he sent me this related to our last conversation about the more people going to tops. Well, now we're flipping it and saying how to tell if you're dating a lazy top. And there's 10 things. I think we should go through them and let's discuss. Number one, they skip foreplay like it's a speed bump. A good top knows the party starts before the main event. Fingers, mouth, teasing, the works. A lazy top acts like foreplay is optional, or worse, a chore. If he's diving straight in without getting you ready, that's not dominance, that's just laziness. Is that laziness, Jeremy, without the foreplay?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, it takes a while for some bottoms to get ready and to just slam it right in. I mean, I know when you go to a play party or when I've been hot and ready, maybe going all night, you're kind of ready to go, but not necessarily if you have somebody come over. What are your thoughts on the foreplay?
Oh, it's completely necessary, especially, like you said, in an instance where you are going to somebody's house, you're connecting. Eating ass for me is number one. It has to be done because I'm telling you, I hooked up with this guy last night and I ate his ass for like at least 30 minutes. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, and there's other things, you know, I love it when a bottom can suck the top's dick and kind of prep on that level too. I'm not really an eating ass person, but I do.
No?
It's not my favorite thing, no, but I will play with the ass in that regard. So if he's going down on me, I will definitely play with his ass, prep it in that regard. But I mean, I won't put it off the menu, but it's just not one of my favorites.
So what is one of your favorite types of foreplay then?
Well, him sucking me off and getting my dick ready, and then me playing with his ass would be my favorite. So still, I would argue not in the lazy category, but they didn't say that you had to necessarily eat ass. And I know, Jeremy, that's one of your favorite things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. So you would be in that. Yeah, there's different foreplays. And so
definitely.
Yeah. Number two, their favorite position is you do all the work. They lie back, you ride. They grunt occasionally. Sure, it can be hot if you want to be in control. But if this is every single time, he's clocked out of his own shift. I like that one. There is something to be said about a lazy top that just lies back, and I think it's fun as a bottom to ride, but I don't want I want you to also, as a top, be in control too. Do you both agree on that one?
Definitely. I think that it's very important on both hands to be active and be an active participant in all the shenanigans that are going on. So, yeah, I think that's par
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
the course.
totally.
right.
I completely
The
agree with that.
Yeah. Number three, they don't pay attention to your cues. So a generous top reads your breathing, your moans, your movement. A lazy one, they'll pound away on autopilot, whether you're melting with pleasure or wincing in discomfort. If he's not adjusting based on your body, he's topping for himself, not for you. Yeah, I think that's an obvious one that you got to be able to read the cues. Is it too much, too hard? Are you mixing it? Are they wincing? I mean, I know you can be behind somebody, but still, you have to really be able to read body language when you are topping somebody. So that's an obvious one. Number four, they treat lube like it's liquid gold, and not in a good way. If you have to beg for more lube or worse, if they think spit is enough, you're not dealing with laziness. You're dealing with someone who skipped the anal 101. I mean, how important, Jeremy, is lube and making sure that your
Well,
bottom is ready?
I think you can tell when someone's uncomfortable, so I feel like it's really important for both of you because I mean, not only is it better for your dick, but then it's also just more comfortable for the person that you're fucking. And I feel like you can tell when uh they're comfortable or not, and I mean, that's important to be able to sense that.
Silicone or water, Jeremy?
Definitely silicone, even though it
Yeah,
stains
Oh,
silicone.
really?
even
Right,
though
One
it
of
right.
the big
stains
days ever.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. We're doing a. I was working with Fakaya, and they were sponsoring their Cherry Grove underwear party, the infamous Friday night, and they were giving away these super clever idea. You know, the hand sanitizers, a mini one, but it was filled with lube, and it had this cool. It had the Fakaya marketing branding on it, so you know,
Of course it did.
course, and then it had this cute chain that you literally hook onto your jock strap so you could carry it with you and you're ready to go. Well, those I was helping them out unpacking a lot of these wrappers, and just because of the fact that they were traveling in boxes, a lot of that silicone was coming out of the packages, or we had to keep wiping down the bottles. and
Oh
and
God.
then in the back room, I kept going to this one corner throughout the same night, and somebody was spilling it a lot. I was slipping and sliding a little bit, so but it was still the best choice, so I'm glad they used it. But Cody, Dr. Goldstein is a huge, huge proponent of lube, lube, lube. Do not just go up there dry, and treating it like liquid gold. Absolutely, that's lazy, is it not?
Oh, definitely. Just use as much as the person needs because the last thing anybody wants is any issues from too little lube back there.
Yeah, yeah. And then number five, two more to go here. Aftercare, never heard of her? Well, the sex ends, and so does his effort. No cuddle, no kiss, a towel toss. A lazy top will be halfway to the kitchen before you even caught your breath. A good top
Damn.
knows the job isn't done until both of you are smiling. Yeah, I've experienced that before where when it's over for them, it's just like you're lucky if you even get that towel thrown at you. I think there should be cuddle, maybe. Yeah, I kind of like cuddling for me signifies a little bit of romance. And if you just hooked up with somebody, I don't know if you need that, but kind of that pillow talk moment where you just kind of lay there, hopefully in bliss, and kind of just maybe ask a couple fun questions aside from that was hot, can be a good aftercare before the top if whoever's hosting invites the other one to use their restroom of choice, and something like that. I think it should go. Jeremy, aftercare. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I with my like significant other, I definitely like my boyfriend, I the cuddling part is like the best part, but with when it's like a hookup, I definitely don't consider that part.
Yeah, right. I mean, but you agree that there can be lazy tops out there that, like you said, you barely even get that washcloth.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like if you're like kind of disrespectful, you give them like the using vibe when you do that and like push them out so quickly, or
Hmm.
just like don't even care about like the aftermath. And
Right.
that's like the shitty part of being a lazy top. So
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, Cody. I feel like, are you kind of wham bam, thank you, ma'am, get out?
What? Who, me? No, honey, no. That's never. No, actually, you know what? I that has been my experience hooking up, kind of, sort of. But then I've had more and more guys that do want to cuddle more recently, and those are the ones that kind of have stuck with me, and the ones that I kind of want to connect with again
Right.
because there is that intimacy level that's there, and it's really nice to cuddle, especially after sex. So it only helps to heighten the connection and the experience, honestly.
I really like that too because it can signify, do we want to do this again? Will there be a repeat session after this? And it kind of either seals the deal for a second round or that was fun and I'm
Ooh,
just going
and
to.
you know what? We did do a second round after we cuddled. That's so interesting that you said that.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good.
Keep that in
Yeah.
mind, gentlemen or people listening to this show, because that can seal the deal if you want another round. Lastly, they say they think being a top means they're automatically good in bed. Ugh, biggest red flag of all. Great topping is a skill. It takes attention, technique, and stamina. If he acts like he's a gift to mankind just because he's the one doing the penetration, it's time to remind him that the title doesn't mean much without the talent. Yeah, I felt like we were sort of talking about that with Lincoln the other day, where he said back in the day, tops used to get into this play party for free, and everybody else had bottoming. And I was like, that's like girls' night out. I don't like that idea. But it also, in my mind, when he suggested that, seemed as though we were putting tops on a pedestal. And I know it can seem like there's a lack thereof of good tops. But what do you think about this one, Cody? They think being a top means they're automatically good in bed.
Well, that's just not true.
Yeah.
You got to work at it, you know? I can only speak from my own experience being an amazing top. I've been told I've gotten an award or two, I think, in the back. But yeah, I think that it's something that you have to work at. It's something that you have to, like you said, listen. All those other things. That's what culminates into being a good top. You just don't magically become a good top one day. You gotta, like you said, listen to the other person's body. That's a number one for me.
Absolutely. I was late in the game of switching over, not switching over, but becoming more versatile. And I have to say, yeah, it didn't just come automatically. I was a really good bottom for years and still am, but I took a minute to get it right. But what do you think, Jeremy, when they think being a top means they're automatically good in bed?
I definitely don't think that that is true, and
Yeah,
I think you have to be attentive and you have to like uh, sense the vibe of who you're with and what's going on and how comfortable they are at all times. And I think that uh, size really doesn't even come into factor either. It's really about what you're doing and how you're doing it.
absolutely. Well, we want to hear from you, and you can always weigh in on this topic today that we're taking. You can always go over to our Tags Patreon community where the conversation continues all week long. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast. And just last Wednesday, we started doing poll questions on our Wednesday show and wanted to read you some of those results. Poll question number one was, could you enter a play party or orgy with friends? And that was stemmed when we were giving tips and tricks on how to host a successful orgy when Paul wrote into us. Thank you so much again, Paul. Here's the results. Could you enter a play party orgy with friends? Yes, I'm down with the get down. I love that, Cody. You wrote that. Got 22%. No, friends and lovers should be separate. Got 22%. And the one that got the most out of 56% was depending on the friends. And I that was where I stood on that particular one. But we didn't get to ask our co-host Jeremy, could you enter a play party or orgy with friends? Where would you
That's
be on?
a definite hell no. I
Oh,
don't.
damn.
I don't like sex with.
He even rewrote the answer.
I was
I
like, wait, Ed, he didn't let you finish the question. I was like, wow. He said, hell
I
no.
definitely like to keep it completely separate. I have not ever slept with my friends. I don't find it like there's nothing sexy about it to me because I keep the two completely separate. But I know in our community specifically that it can happen and is sometimes popular, but in my opinion, it's not my thing and it will not be my thing. And I don't like nudity or like just being sexual around my friends in general. I like to keep it completely separate.
Right, and I was definitely with you on that one for sure. But I think I created that answer too. Almost like depends on the friends because it all stems when we were talking to Lincoln, and I did point over to Cody and said, "I think I could be at an orgy play party with you." I mean, recently we were at a dinner party here with my neighbor. It was really fun. It's somebody that I have played with, a neighbor, and Diego, the neighbor did this really cool dinner party with fun. Didn't you have a great time at that
Oh,
dinner?
it was amazing. I texted him the next day. I was like, I had so much fun. So, yeah,
Yeah,
10 out
and
of 10.
so it was somebody. Well, he's a neighbor in my building, but he put together this dinner party, and one of the reasons he put it together, at least inviting me, was I am more than just play. I can do more than just have sex and play or say hi to you in the elevator. And he created a dinner and invited some like a really cool small group of guys, and he cooked
Yeah.
for us, had music, cocktails, and he had this huge island that we all were around. And I mean, we had some really great conversations. We all ended up going to the Eagle afterwards, and I don't know, it was really cool. But I have played with him and can also hang out with him, and that was really kind of a cool experience to have. Poll question number 2 that we asked was because we were talking all about how AI, you've been on a show, Jeremy, where how we're all kind of dabbling in AI. But we got into where is AI headed, and is it headed into our romantic and sexual lives? And it already is in many ways. But the poll question was, would you take an AI boyfriend if you have Kevin? So imagine though, if you had been single for years and you just couldn't find anything, knowing the direction that AI is going, would you consider taking up an AI boyfriend? Yes, sign me up, or no, not for me.
No, hell no.
Yeah, it
I
was.
I feel like that I would lack the like actual emotion that you get from another person and the thoughtfulness that can't be generated by like a robot or a computer or AI. So I feel like the just character traits from my boyfriend specifically, I don't like I know that they couldn't be duplicated, so I feel like I definitely would not be able to go with that route.
It was 100% no, and I absolutely agree with it too. And the reason is I was joking around on our episode recently with Lincoln that I have a therapist and it's an AI therapist. And Lincoln said that explains a lot. And I said, "Oh, he tells me everything I want to hear." And he says that explains a lot. And I was of course joking. I mean, I was. And because I actually think you could create an AI boyfriend in the manner that you would want them to be. So they would tell you everything you would want to hear. And part of the thing that makes my relationship with Diego work so well is that we aren't like, we have a lot in common, but we're very different people. I like it when he says no to me, and he says no a lot. But I mean, we have fun discussions and we don't agree on everything. I wouldn't want my AI boyfriend to be, and I guess you could program him to have fun arguments, but I would always wonder, like, I created this and it's not. I want a human. I'm a human. I want to connect with a human being. And that got 100%, Cody. So I'm sure you are right there with that, correct?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
that leads us into our discussion today. We're moving on to porn not suitable for work, and our consumption of it or lack thereof it. And I had a few questions that I was ruminating in my head. I wanted to ask you guys, and we'll discuss, have you seen your porn consumption change throughout the years? And let's just start with you, Jeremy.
Definitely. I think before I focused on it a lot just from not being in a relationship and uh, just watched it like so much. And I feel like being in a relationship now, it is so much better for me to focus less on porn and more on just intimate moments with my partner. So, and I just try and stay busy and not really dwell on it like I used to. You know, when you're not in a relationship,
Yes.
it's really easy to get bored and then
Yeah.
just automatically look at porn or masturbate. And I don't find myself doing that now. Uh, so yeah, it's definitely dissipated a lot over the years compared to what it used to be.
I would agree with you. Well, I've had ebbs and flows of it in my entire life, and there's been times where it was a lot when I was single. Now I live with my partner, and so I still look at it here and there. I do work from home, so it's a lot easier at times to look at not suitable for work content at times. A lot of prepping for this show is going to various sites. Straight up gay porn is one that I go to every single day, and in my face, I get a lot of tidbits and stories often from that site, and they do a whole roundup of the hottest porn. We do a whole thing called thirst trap, so it's part of our show. So I could never really get rid of it, at least as long as we're doing this show. But I've found it's less than, say, when I was single. How about you, Cody?
For me, I feel like porn is a replacement for sex. So if I'm having a lot of sex, then the porn, it just kind of, declines. But if I'm not having a lot of sex, then it's like I look at it all the time and constantly. Just like, but I know you were saying that we consume a lot of porn for this show, but if I am having, continuous regular sex, then I don't really, I just look at it, I glance at it and do what I got to do, judge the thirst traps, and then get back to my day.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked also what you said, Jeremy, keeping busy. That's one of the things. I mean, there is nothing wrong with porn, and that's why we're even talking about it. And I love it. And I love the performers that give it to us.
Yeah, I'm not saying I definitely don't look at it at all. That's
Yeah,
not the case. It's just like I think when you stay busy and think less about it,
yeah.
then your intimacy is a lot better, at least in my opinion.
Well, let's bring this to this question, because have you ever thought that you were consuming too much? And I'll just go right off the bat. Yes, there's been moments in time where I thought I wasn't perhaps keeping as busy or doing, I hate to use that phrase that everybody uses, living your best life, but you know, I mean, it's so overused, but you want to, I set intentions every day on being productive, or I'm a list person. I like to write lists down, whether it's in my mind or the things that I got to do. And you can go down a rabbit hole. I have been there. I'm the first to admit it at certain points in my life. And it was perhaps unhealthy. But a quick round on Jeremy. Have you ever thought you were consuming too much ever?
Oh, definitely. I feel like I had off days in the past, like especially when I was much younger, that I could just like masturbate away and just watch like more and more porn videos, and it's definitely not the case anymore. But I realized that it's not that great for you, especially if you're looking to get into a relationship.
Mm.
I feel like it takes the emphasis off of real sex in general and like real connection, which sounds very sappy, but it's just the truth because there's so many aspects of porn that aren't realistic.
Yeah, no, you're really good. I mean, I want to hear your answer to that last question, but Cody, but Jeremy brings up a really good point that I had here. And have you ever expected your own sexual lives to mirror what you watch? So maybe you can tackle both of those.
Oh yeah, I'm good at tackling two things at one time.
Okay, that's why I gave it to you.
Thank you, Boo. Yeah, I definitely have experienced that when I was consuming too much porn. I would have issues when it came to actually connecting with somebody in person. So I've experienced that. It's a real thing, and I have consumed entirely too much porn. So, this is going to sound a little crazy, but the second question that you asked is, do I expect my life to mirror porn? It already does.
Okay, yeah.
In my mind, I look like the porn stars. I don't know what it looks like in real life, but in my mind, I am porning it down when I have sex. So, yes.
It's so funny. I don't know why I was thinking about this right now, but Diego watches a lot. Like the way he wakes up, he's gonna kill me for telling you this. Like he'll wake up and then he turns on. And at first I was like, what is going on? He like just is going through TikTok. Like that's his way of waking up. If he has like a day off. And one of the ones he called me into the room and it was like Missy Elliott, a song, and it was this guy. I'm like, yeah, what's about it? And it was just this guy kind of in the dimly lit, and he was looking in the camera. I'm like, uh-huh. And then he turns to the mirror and he has a huge heart on, and it's TikTok. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
are you
God.
kidding me? How did that make it onto TikTok? But I mean, it was so quick and then it goes away. Like you see it, and then he looks back at the camera and it's like, oh wow, okay, here we go.
That's when you screen record, honey.
Yeah, I know. And if it's not that, it's like, we just got a recipe that we're gonna like make a recipe off of TikTok. I mean, we're all over the place with that, but it's a lot of fun. Yes. Here's this question that I thought was interesting. Well, I guess I didn't ask you, Jeremy. Do you expect your sex to look like what you've seen in porn?
I mean, I definitely don't. I feel like it's an unrealistic standard, and I don't like compare the two. But I do like find myself sometimes thinking about things that I've either seen or watched on porn, but I try and stay present at the same time. So,
Yeah, that's really. I like what you said because it can be a really good inspiration, if you will. You can
right.
get it's another. It's like a lookbook, right? You can see what's on the runway, but do not just rip it off the runway and think that you're going to look like that model. I mean, some of you might, listeners, but I know I won't. So I always modify something, but you can get inspired, which I think is really good. It's often fun too. If you're in a couple too, you could watch porn together and get turned on, and then maybe what you saw inspired you, so I really like that. But it also is like reality TV. Yes, I am guilty at times of watching a Real Housewives, but I know that that's not totally real life. You can't be always at a dinner party, a party, or a restaurant, which is all of what they do, or a trip.
Right.
And they fabricate a lot of this stuff and create these scenarios, and we see the edit. So I think most viewers today have an idea that yes, this is all created for our consumption, so for entertainment, which is really great. And lastly, well, this was an interesting one. Has your types of porn changed throughout the years? And I would say mine has, because in the late 80s, when I started watching it, the options were really, it was 80s porn stars, and they were all hairless at the time, and most of them were really white. And so later on, when more types of body types came about and people of color, that really changed just because of the lack thereof of what we saw back in the day. But yes, of course, and through the advent and closure of things like Tumblr, I've gotten into certain things on that and all kinds of stuff. But have you, Jeremy, seen your porn change throughout the years, what you like?
I mean, mine is probably very similar to what it has been in the past, like asses and all of that fun stuff. But I feel like it's maybe become more into amateur when that wasn't a thing, because now we have more access to that on Twitter and Tumblr and all of those things, and even like Pornhub and stuff, where that wasn't a thing back in the day. Like it was all professional studio porn, and like everyone looked like models and stuff like that, and there was less access to amateur porn. So I would say maybe
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's changed, but not like what I end up watching.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would agree with you. Amateur porn wasn't a thing before, or OnlyFans models, and that has become something that I have gravitated more. That more real, less studio porn is just because of the way life and technology has changed, and I've just kind of gone through some of those waves. But what about you, Cody?
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think about how my tastes in porn have changed, but I don't really like. Maybe it's expanded a little bit. Maybe I am willing to. No, that's not true. I was always a big old freak. No, so yeah, I think that the OnlyFans thing has really just changed the view for everybody as far as what their consumption of porn is. Because again, amateurs is just really hot. So yeah.
I feel like there's more opportunities to see various types of adult content, which is an exciting time to be around, and obviously various ways to see it. Remember VHS? And so, yeah, I think, yeah, exactly. Right. So that's exciting, but with more consumption can come things like maybe watching too much, like we discussed before. So, yeah, I love that. Let us know where you weigh in on that whole topic of your not suitable for work porn consumption and where you're at with it. We'll continue the conversation over on our Patreon tags community. You know how much I love summer, right? Because I've been telling you all season long, from long walks, beach time, my intense workouts, and dancing in the open air, something about it makes me feel my best. So what better time to create healthy meal habits that last? What better time to get Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for clean eating? You know how much I love food, especially if it's tasty, fresh, and healthy at the same time. Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying summer, and with their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. Perfect for supporting your wellness journey, Green Chef recipes feature fresh, organic, seasonal produce and 100% reasonably sourced proteins to help you feel your best. I'm loving Green Chef, and you will too. Diego and I had a most delicious option from the Mediterranean meal plan that we whipped up so quickly. We had the sheet pan shawarma spiced salmon with my favorite, sweet potatoes, and a lovely kale salad on the side. The instructions were easy to follow, the protein was super fresh, and the spices and ingredients that were included made for a delicious dinner. The meal was so generous, and I really appreciated the fresh and healthy ingredients and recipe. It totally supported my current health routine. Make this summer your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50tags and use code 50tags to get 50% off your first month.
If you're an IT or security pro, managing devices, identities, and applications can feel overwhelming and risky. Trellica by 1Password helps conquer SaaS sprawl and shadow IT by discovering every app your team uses, managed or not. Their pre-built app profiles assess risk, manage access, and optimum speed. And with 1Password, you can simplify onboarding, offboarding, and compliance with a centralized system of record and reduce costs by eliminating unused licenses. Take the first step in better security for your team. Learn more at onepassword.com/special offer. That's onepassword.com/special offer, all lowercase.
Then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50tags, TAGS, at greenchef.com/50tags. Well, I sent you guys a note earlier. I'm not sure if you had a chance to read it. Okay, good. Because it all stemmed from Watch What Happens Live, where Andy Cohen was talking to Luke McFarlane, actor, about who is gay, and they were doing pillow talk. And I loved a lot of these questions that he asked Luke, and I thought it would be fun to do round robin on this one. The first question that he asked Luke was, who was your first celebrity crush? And I was doing this at our dinner party,
I was
Cody.
literally going to say, did we just do this?
We did it because I just loved it. I thought it was so fun. And
it was fun.
And so at the island dinner party that we were at, I mean, everybody go around, and it was not everybody was of the same age. And so when you're talking about who was your first celebrity crush, I'll just go first. I was on the older side of the guests there, I would say. And my first celebrity crushes were Tom Selleck of Magnum PI and Burt Reynolds, who was a 70s, 80s. I mean, he had a huge comeback when he did that movie about porn. Actually, speaking of porn, Boogie Nights. But I mean, what I liked about them back in the day, and again, there weren't a lot of examples, and the hairy body was a big thing. Both Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck had these huge hairy chests, which is not even really my thing anymore. But back then, it was that's what was really popular. They were both tall men, so I was really attracted to kind of tall, bigger men. I think Tom Selleck was a former football player in that big kind of body, and they had these thick mustaches, and that was my first celebrity crushes. But I know a lot of people were like, who is Burt Reynolds? But I love it. We got to go with you, Jeremy. Who was your first celebrity crush?
It was definitely Ricky Martin. So I was always like a big fan of Ricky Martin. I just thought he was so good looking, and I knew he was gay before he came out. And I would just watch his music videos all the time and like kind of obsess over him. And I feel like he's just got better looking with age, and he still looks amazing. And
Yeah.
he like J Lo, I feel like they just continue to age gracefully and look amazing. And so
Supportive
like
looking.
I was obsessed with both J Lo and him all growing up.
That's a good one. And yes, and if you go back to Menudo and all that, and General
Exactly, yeah.
Hospital, yeah, that's a really good one. One of the things, Rose Byrne was also asked this question too, and I loved her response. Her first celebrity crush, and remember, she's an Aussie, was Kylie Minogue. And I thought, oh, I love that. That's so cool. But, Cody, I think I heard yours. Am I right? Well, is it Saved by the Bell? Somebody, Mario?
Well, I'm gonna go with George Michael as my first crush. That I've always had like a thing for him.
You also said Mario, though, right?
I did. I was gonna say that too, but I think my first and foremost crush was George Michael, but then Mario Lopez as well, because I felt like AC Slater was everything that every boy wanted to be, and all the gay kids lusted after him. So, but yeah, George Michael is number one.
That's kind of cool that you picked up a singer that ultimately turned out to be gay in the end.
I mean, so did Jeremy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so did Mario.
No.
Ricky Martin. Yeah.
I was always questioning Mario. Like I felt like he still gives gay vibes. Like I don't know.
So
I feel like when I watch him on Extra, he like embodies everything like a gay man. I don't know. I don't find him to have any tendencies of like there's a difference between like the metro line of being metrosexual, and then there's Mario, and I feel like he fits in with like a gay guy.
That is so funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you on that one because, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's not my favorite, but whatever.
No, he's super
I don't know. He's always giving me.
He's got some.
Well, now he has some work done, so that especially makes him not really that desirable.
Oh my God, I love it. All right. Here is the next Pillow Talk question that Andy asked to Luke and Rose, but it was Luke's answers that really got me. What is your oddest turn on? And his was there was a name for it, but it was basically guys that have ears that really protrude outward, kind of like is it Russell Tovey's ears?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Andy brought that up. I think Russell Tovey is very handsome, and I don't like that ear thing at all. I've seen it before, and I mean, you can't help it, right? I mean, but it is what it is. Somehow it works for Russell, but yeah, that would not be mine. Mine was my, odd turn on would be calves, men's calves, guys that have really good big calves, and they don't even necessarily have to be like Diego has really pronounced calves, and I've always just walked behind guys. Like summertime in New York is the best time to be here because everybody all of a sudden wants to be naked because we've been so covered up. And you can just I take walks all the time, and I will just walk behind somebody. I'll go off my beaten path just to follow a guy with really good calves. And it's kind of an odd, I mean, I've said before feet that I love men's feet, and I do, but that's a common one. Calves is really, I think, odd, right? Would you not agree? Is it odd, Jeremy?
No, not at all. I feel like that's like saying ass.
Calves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys love other guys' calves, and I feel like women loves guys' calves. I don't think
Oh,
that's
I
an
didn't.
odd one.
Oh, I thought it was odd. What about, okay, well, what about the ear thing? Is that odd?
Oh yeah, the ear thing is definitely odd, but I like it too. Like I think that it's kind of attractive, like the odd ears. And
Yeah.
I feel like feet is another one that's kind of general. Like it's
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel
no,
like
right. And that's what I meant. Yeah,
it's
feet's
either like
general
a hit or
and
miss. Like someone either loves it or they don't.
right, exactly. What would be so what is one of yours?
So
Odd.
for me, I think one odd thing would be cleanliness of nails. I really get
Oh.
turned off when guys have like any white grown out on their nails, and I know that that's like
What?
being so
Yeah,
tedious, but
no.
I
I'm
like
looking at
really
mine right now, and
short, like
they're good.
short manicured nails. To me is a mega turn on, and not something that is normal, I feel like, or mainstream that someone would choose.
It's
That is
one of
very
those
interesting.
details, Jeremy, that I look at too, and I do not like. I love a short cropped nail, and it's so easy to do
It
too.
is.
Like I every time I go to get a pedicure because that I can't do on my own very well. But they always ask me, "Do you want the nails?" And I'm like, "No, I can do that and save money too." And it's super easy. Like you literally just have to have clippers and a filer. And I have
Yeah.
a glass one that never goes. It always is sharp, and it's
Hmm.
super easy. And they look great. And but I look at that too. We were talking about this at the dinner party too, and that gloss that people put on there. I hate it so much. And when I see it, it's a total turn off for me. If I see that, do you like that buffer gloss look,
So
Jeremy?
there's two different things. If you put the clear polish on the toenails, for me that doesn't bother me, but on the fingernails it does. But I do know that
Oh,
they also have a buffer that gives it like a matte sheen, if that makes sense, where
Yeah.
it's not glossy and shiny, but it looks clean. I do like that.
Okay. I mean, we're so picky and breaking it down. I mean, I don't really
yeah.
like. I just think keep it simple. I mean, just we went into the conversation like the whole that trend of gay guys painting their nails, and I'm a hard no. I am sorry, everybody out there. Don't write into me saying you don't like my answer, but I just don't like it. It's not my thing. And Cody, the last thing I'll say because I'm going to sneak one more in is I love a good like a nose, which is an interesting turn on, but like where like Diego has this super sharp nose thing going on with the bone coming out, and I love it. I'm so turned on by that. But what are your odd turn ons?
Yeah, you just said mine. It's a nose. I have a nose thing.
Oh,
I guess because mine is so small and like, they say that a lot of people they admire qualities in other people that they don't like the inverse of what they have themselves. So I think that that's one of the things that attracts me to a guy is a really strong nose. So yeah, we got the same
Nice.
thing.
I love it. I love it. I say, see, I knew something was gonna relate there. And this is the most fun that he asked. That I can't wait to hear you guys. I'll go first. Describe yourself as a lover in 3 words. Here is mine: sensual, playful, and animalistic. Where's the applause?
Love it.
Well, okay, thank you,
The audience is
people.
doing it.
Yeah. Sensual, playful, and animalistic. We'll go back to you, Cody. What's your 3 words?
Intuitive. Uh,
Oh, you didn't prep.
I did not prep. You're right. I didn't get to this one. Dominant, I would say, and caressing. There we go.
Okay, all right. I love the intuitive. That's really good. You're not a lazy top, so very
No,
good.
definitely not. Definitely a service top.
Jeremy Ross Lopez, describe yourself as a lover in 3 words.
So I would say affectionate, which is showing fondness and love. I would say devoted, loyal, and loving. And then I would say thoughtful, showing care and concern for others.
Oh my goodness, I love
Aw.
it. Very. Kevin's a lucky man.
I want Jeremy's now. I'm gonna steal yours, Jeremy. Whatever he said.
Yeah, I really liked your intuitive one. That was like, especially coming off of the last conversation of lazy tops, and that's a good one. So stick with that. And okay, we've got to get into hot topics, and there is a slew of them. I put a little link in our little conversation. I'm not sure you can get it, Jeremy, because you're on a phone. Let me know if you can or can't. It's not that important. But
No, I
would
can't
be
see
curious.
it.
Okay, so basically, there is a couple that is no longer together. They were an influencer couple, and they go by the names Beau, Ciolino, and
Oh,
Matt
yes, I saw this.
Armato. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I actually didn't know about them, but they have racked up thousands and thousands of followers based on their lifestyle content as a couple. And so they'll do things like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, because you know a little bit more about them, but they're super, I mean, when they were together, there was a whole photo dump of their relationship, and they're super sexy, fun couple. And they will do things like do it yourself videos on, they do a lot of home improvement things.
Yeah.
Somebody described their content as wholesome content because they do a lot of things just living their lives, but you know, sharing with the world. And like I said, and they live in a really cool place, or did, and who knows how that's going to work out, where they would just share 250,000 followers. That's a lot. Well, after they met in college at Loyola University and have been together for 12 years. And like I said, they made their whole Instagram, probably this, a huge part of their business. And they had to come out and said, we had to be honest with the people. And they said it on TikTok back, we broke up. The thing that was really interesting about them making this announcement was a lot of people felt that one of them was a little bit more, in their announcement video, a little bit more la la la, and people got really like, oh, it's because the one on the left found a new boyfriend already, and people started coming for him. Well, it was the other one that came, his partner, that came to his defense and said, no, do not say that. And because he was nervous, and people handle things differently. What do you think about this whole? And then other people were like, I don't even, this is the first time I've ever seen this couple in my entire life. So there was that's true. Yeah. But you know, without acknowledging, Jeremy, their presence online at 250,000 followers is not something to balk at. And knowing that did you watch their content? What did you think of them announcing this breakup?
So I did watch some of their content, but I don't follow them. I've just come across it looking at like home renovation stuff because I'm in that line of work. I do think that the breakup announcement video was sad to see, and you can see
Yeah.
that one of them announces that they're newly single and the other one has like an awkward reaction to that in the video. So watching that alone is sad because it's 12 years is a lot to be proud of, and like working a relationship is an ebb and flow in itself and takes a lot of time and effort. But I will say, I feel like sometimes that social media ends up being the demise. And I don't know if it's necessarily the exposure itself out there in the world and just being almost too exposed and having everything, every waking moment or a lot of your life take place online is the issue. But it seems like a lot of the things that they put online was just their daily life of them, like you said, doing DIYs and home renovations and stuff. And I feel like sometimes a lot of that is intimate moments that are with your partner. Like my boyfriend and I have done multiple projects together, and I can't really picture having the world comment on it and having it fully recorded and all of the steps. And like, I don't know, I just feel like it's personal and things that we reflect on for ourselves, but not something that I would share. So it just poses that question of, is it too much exposure, and could it be that helped the demise?
Yeah, you such interesting points that you brought up, because on the one point, the one thing that you said about one of them, a little bit awkward moment for one of them to say I'm newly single is a little bit like, did you have to say that? I mean,
Right.
it's obviously you're not together, but the thing that really resonated with what you said about when you put your life up there as a couple, and that's like the basis of all of your content. I was recently, Diego and I have been cooking up a storm lately, and I'll film like a couple of our recipes or us cooking and put it on our Tags Patreon community, which you guys can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point we were like talking about another couple, and we were considering like, oh, what if we did content like this for ourselves? But you just got me really thinking about a lot of things, and then seeing this breakup, that you're right, maybe it's like working together. Part of the success of my relationship right now is I work from home. He goes to work every day. When we see each
Mm-hmm.
other before and after work, it's special. And yeah, we can do a video here and there for social media, but if everything's based on that, it could be the rise and the demise all in a whole period of time. And yeah, I think it's a slippery slope that you
Yeah,
got to
don't get
really.
me wrong. I don't think that it's bad to record here and there. I just think that some of the things, it almost sets you up for a stage, and then you almost feel like it's a performance rather than just living your life and being in the moment with your significant other. And I feel
Yeah.
like also
Mm.
because everyone stays so busy, when you get those intimate moments together, it's so special to share it with just that person and no one else. And I think it kind of takes away from that a little bit.
Yeah, and the other thing, Cody, that I'm thinking about is reality TV. I mean, how often do we watch
The housewife
the
effect.
the
Yeah.
Housewife Effect, where
What
they
happens?
started off with a partner and then we go? I mean, is there a way to rebound from something like this, like a lot of the housewives do? And maybe they go off on their own. Maybe they come together at times. Could they use that reality TV concept to make this and their brand continue? Or what's your thoughts?
First of all, I just want to speak on how one of them looks happy and the other one looks like completely devastated. I feel
Hmm.
like people do process things in different ways. So I'm sure that's all a facade, because you can't spend 12 years with somebody and not
Right.
feel the hurt of the demise of a relationship. So I'm coming to his defense. His ex-husband, fiance, whomever it is,
Yeah.
I'm sure he had a lot of insight that we don't have. So I
Right.
think there's that. But then I hear what you're saying, what you guys are saying about the special moments, and I think that that's something that you want to share with the world. So I see both sides of it. I think that if it's oversaturated and becomes laborious, which it might have done in this instance, then
Hmm.
it could be something that could be detrimental to your relationship. But that's part of the allure, and one of the best things about social media is that you get to share your life with so many people, and you get to have special moments, selected special moments, because I do feel like their relationship could have been a little bit oversaturated as far as sharing is concerned. So I think there's a balance that needs to be had, because life is full of beautiful experiences, and I feel like I want to share them with other people. So even the bad experiences, I want to share with other people. Hence my EP coming up.
There you go. Cody
What?
Maurice. Download the single, I Don't Want to Fight, wherever you get your music. Staying on topic, another hot topic, we've talked about it on this show, is David Geffen and his former husband, Donovan Michaels. If you remember, Donovan Michaels is a former adult performer, and David Geffen and him married. They only were married 6 months. We were reporting recently that Donovan filed a lawsuit against the mogul, David Geffen, claiming all things that he asked Donovan to take drugs, to change his appearance, to get plastic surgery, on and on and on. And he also said, amid their divorce, he claimed that David Geffen said that he was owed all this money that he would be taken care of for the rest of his life. Well, now Geffen has denied and come out with his response to it. He's denied the accusations of financial abuse, exploitation made by his estranged husband. And the gay billionaire said in a filing that he never agreed to financially supporting Michaels for a life, as he claimed in the lawsuit. He also denied the allegations that he forced him to use drugs, undergo cosmetic surgery, like I said. Geffen is 82. Michael's is 32, just to give you a little bit. And interestingly enough, we talked about this before, there was no prenup. Geffen said that he initiated the divorce because Michaels was taking advantage of his good nature and generosity, accusing the younger of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on OnlyFans subscriptions and male prostitutes in the final months of their marriage. Geffen also claimed that Michaels used his money to purchase expensive clothes, vacations, and cosmetic procedures. And this is getting really messy. We're hearing both sides of this. I mean, thoughts, Jeremy, on this messy breakup?
I mean, it sounds like the billionaire wasn't exactly smart enough to uh, see all of these
Get
red
that
flags
prenup?
before. Yeah, see all the red flags before, and he doesn't have a lawyer on his staff that would say, "Oh, you should probably make these choices before getting married to this person." And I mean, if you're married to them for 6 months and then you decide that it's over, I didn't you have a preliminary phase of like dating him for a few years to know what he's like as a person? And I don't know, I just feel like there are instances in this case that he could have definitely seen that the guy had not the greatest intentions.
I mean, Cody, it's definitely he said situation at this point. Whose side are you on? And where does it go from here?
I mean, Daddy Geffen can afford a couple $1 million to take care of this guy. So
Yeah.
I'm on Donovan's side. So yeah,
Okay.
just because it doesn't matter, and it's one word against the other, and David Geffen can afford it. So it's neither here nor there. And
Yeah, I mean,
get that money.
I do agree with Jeremy that if nobody on his team or he was David Geffen has been around for years and years and years, and he didn't know enough that this particular situation, although he was excited at the time, marrying a 32-year-old that was a former adult content performer may not work out without doing that prenup. I'm shocked by that. And so now we're seeing this messiness play out, and it's a he said, and I don't really have a side on this just because I feel like they both got themselves into this, and I kind of siding with you, Cody, in many ways, because he is a billionaire and he could shut this down, and which probably will be what will happen in the end, a settlement, I would imagine, because this can't just keep playing out. It's really bad for the former mogul that so many people looked up to, and this is going to be his legacy at the end. I don't know. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Could do this all night long, but we here in New York have to go celebrate our other co-host's birthday, Lincoln. It's birthday. So if you're listening to this, shout out to
Oh,
Lincoln.
nice.
Yeah. So we're going to go run over to a speakeasy and wish him a very happy birthday. You can follow the co-host, of course, on social media. Follow Jeremy on the gram at JRossLopez. Follow Cody at Mr. Maurice on Instagram and Blue Sky. And follow me, I am _Steve V. Mentioned our Patreon. We're live Wednesday night. I am headed to the Bay Area and Mexico, but still doing the show. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.
If you're an IT or security pro, managing devices, identities, and applications can feel overwhelming and risky. Trelica by 1Password helps conquer SaaS, sprawl, and shadow IT by discovering every app your team uses, managed or not. Their pre-built app profiles assess risk, manage access, and optimum speed. And with 1Password, you can simplify onboarding, offboarding, and compliance with a centralized system of record and reduce costs by eliminating unused licenses. Take the first step in better security for your team. Learn more at onepassword.com/special offer. That's onepassword.com/special offer, all lowercase.